What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the iFollow channel. You join me as Carlisle. I've just made a long trip down to Stevenage and came away with a point, a 2-2 game it finished. Carlisle moved up to 19th position with 6 points, and obviously a game in hand on most of the division because a lot of the games were called off today. But a real smash and grab performance from Carlisle today. I don't think we particularly played very well, but if you had offered me a point at the start of the game, I would have very much taken that against a good Stevenage side, a very well drilled Steve Evans side, and in ridiculous conditions in terms of heat as well. I think it was something like 32 degrees down there, so playing football at a top level is hard enough as it is, but when it's in that type of heat, I think we had about 4 water breaks. So to come away with a point, a very late point, but to come away with a point was great. But just to dive into the game, I thought that's probably our strongest XI. The argument's always going to be Anderson, Hawley and nets, but I think the 10 players that play outfield, it was our strongest XI. For sure, I really like the Coyote and Sean Maguire strike partnership. I imagine that's going to be our strike partnership starting most games this season. And obviously Joe Garner came off the bench and made a great impact. Terry Blade, or as the commentators were saying, Terry Ablade, which I don't know how you even get that, but Terry Blade looked really good again, really lively off the bench. But yeah, the game started, and it feels like I just say this most videos really, when Carlisle are away from home anyway. The game started and Stevenage with a better side. They had a few chances really early on in the first sort of 10-15 minutes. There was a pass back and Sean Maguire, great effort to try and get in, but the keeper recovered for them. But as I say, then Stevenage had a few chances early on, nothing sort of major, nothing like a clear-cut chance, but a few half chances. And then just around 15 minutes in, Jamie Reid got their first goal, and it's come from it's a free kick on the halfway line. He's played it long. Carl Piagangi, I can't really say his name, but you know who I mean. He's a top quality player. He's headed it on, and then Jamie Reid's flicked it into the back of the net for 1-0. I thought that the Carl Piagangi, again, I'm just going to butcher his name, but he was their captain, and I thought he was probably overall man of the match. I thought he had an absolutely fantastic game. But he flicked it on, and then Jamie Reid gets the goal. And then not long later, Carlisle responded really well. Jack Armour just plays this ridiculously long ball over the top, and Sean Maguire gets on the end of it, takes a touch, and then he takes a shot, and the goalkeeper's he's saved it, and it looks like it's going sort of over or wide, and it just goes in the back of the net, and you're just like, well, what's just happened there? But Carlisle with the goal, no complaint. Sean Maguire with the goal for Carlisle. Obviously got one last week and it wasn't given for him. That's definitely his goal this week. So Sean Maguire off the mark in the Carlisle shirt. It's literally the word smash and grab, isn't it? Long ball up the pitch, gets onto it, scores. I do think he was offside. I think it's hard to tell because when the ball's played from Jack Armour, you don't have the position of the defenders and Sean Maguire, so it's hard to say. But he looked miles offside. I'm going to be honest. I'd be fuming if I was a Stevenage fan, and I imagine Steve Evans will be in his interview after the game. But that made it 1-1, and then after the goal, Carlisle seemed to sort of settle into the game. I thought our midfield was quite lacklustre today. I don't think we had much of a midfield. They seemed to be outplayed a lot. I thought, again, I said it a couple of weeks ago, I can't remember which video it was, but it's that two midfielders. And then the attacking midfielder, we seem quite short in the midfield. I felt that again today. But I mean, the Stevenage had the better chances in the first half. Carlisle started to play the ball a little bit better, but just couldn't seem to get that quality in possession that we've had in previous games. But it was a really open game because Stevenage, I would say, had the better of the chances and the better of the play. But Stevenage were very open at the back, and there was a couple of times where we got on the ball and it was sort of a 2-on-2 or 3-on-2. And you know, that was a bit more positive from Carlisle. I thought our man of the match was Anderson in net by quite a clear distance. He made about 5 key saves throughout the game, and it was good to see, because obviously, you know, I mean, the debate's going to go on regardless, but it was good to see him playing with some confidence, making some good saves. I'm going to contradict that when we get into the second half, but for now he was making the good saves. And then we came into the second half, we made 4 changes in the second half. Ivan McCalmont, Joe Garner, Terry Blade and Luke Planjo came on. And the Stevenage hit the underside of the crossbar very early on again. Piangi, and again butchering his name, but he hit the underside of the crossbar, and then the goalkeeper made a great save just a couple of minutes later from another header. They were very dangerous from set pieces, Stevenage. And then we had a corner, and if you watch the game or have seen the game in any way, you're going to know where this one leads. Now, I'm going to break it down, and I'm going to talk about it a bit more, because I mean, it's awful, really. But we had a corner. Our corner's whipped in. It cleared from them. And I think it was Henning. It was their player. Turned off in McCalmont inside out twice. Did him a couple of times. Did him one way, then did him the other way. Plays a long cross into the box. And I was thinking that Anderson maybe could have came out and collected it. Maybe I'm better off possibly watching the replay of that. I haven't seen a replay of it, so I can't say for sure, but it maybe looked like he could have came out and collected the ball from the long cross. Possibly, maybe not. As I say, watching the replay maybe would have been better, but yeah, maybe, just maybe. But then Jamie Reid goes up against Callum Guy, and considering Callum Guy was an absolute world beater last week for us, it's Sunday League defending. It's Sunday League defending in the end, and Callum Guy is he's just basically letting walk past him. Players had the shots, came off the keeper, it went in the back of the net. It's 2-1. I think it's, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I'm going to be fully honest, I think it's absolutely pathetic that we can have a corner and then concede that easily from it. That shouldn't happen in League One level, and if it does, you're going to get punished, and we were punished. And yeah, it's just a really, really poor goal. Really poor goal to concede at any level, but especially at League One level. Then we had the chance with Terry Blade was fouled on the edge of the box. His pace again just causing that problem, just causing an issue. Winning the free kick, it had to be a yellow card, which it wasn't a yellow card apparently, but it should have been. And then a few minutes after that, Stevenage put the ball in the back of the net again. Was offside. It was from another set piece. Anderson really should just be catching it. He's caught it and then he's dropped it straight to the feet of their player. But then their player was in an offside position, so that goal didn't count. Which, to be honest, we got away with one. If we're going to be honest there. It's a simple catch for the goalkeeper, but it's offside, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I still think Anderson was man of the match. I think he did more good than bad. I say maybe being a bit harsh on him with the second goal. I'd be interested to see someone else's point of view on that. I've only seen it once, so in the moment I thought he maybe could have done better, but it doesn't mean that he could have or anything. But I think overall he was our man of the match. He made five key saves, a couple of brilliant saves as well, to keep us in the game. And then of course we got the corner. It was whipped in. Joey Garner with the header, and it was over the line because the referee gave it with the watch. I mean, we were celebrating before the ref gave it, so it must have been clearly over the line. But it's over the line. Really, really scrappy goal, scrappy game. Take the point, smash and grab performance, which is really funny because we were playing against Steve Evans. I think their sort of first goal from the free kick routine was a very much a Steve Evans goal, and then I thought our performance and getting the point was very Steve Evans performance. So Carlisle take the point, so we'll take a positive from the game that we got a point. I don't think we were particularly very good in the game, and I don't really think we deserved the point if I'm going to be honest, but I'm not going to complain at the point that we got. It's a very solid point against a good Stevenage side in ridiculous temperatures for September. But yeah, Carlisle moving to 19th. If you were watching on iFollow, you'll know that Stevenage are top of League One because their commentators wouldn't stop mentioning them. But a good point for Carlisle. If you were one of the 428 Carlisle fans that made that trip down, safe journey home for you guys. Long trip, so fair play to every single one of you who made that trip. What do you think on the game? Do you think it was a deserved point? Do you think we could have won the game? Do you think Stevenage probably could have won the game? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think on Anderson? Was it a good performance? It was a good performance, but what are your guys' opinions on Anderson? Would you start him? I think he's going to be our number one, let's be honest, so I don't think it matters who we would start, but I'd be interested to see if you would continue to start him if you were Paul Simpson. So let me know in the comments down below. But for now, I have been CU04, and I'll see you in the next one.
I never miss, that's fact. Taking big swings, put your hand to the bat. Put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light.